Speaking of sick boys, Jonah Hill. Everyone's upset about the Jonah Hill thing, and everyone's going, "Oh, Jonah Hill's abusive." If you don't know, Jonah Hill, he reached out to this professional surfer lady, and the way he reached out was he sent her a photo of her surfing, and he was like, "Damn, nice." She was in like a surf outfit, her bum's out, she's hot, she's an athlete. He's like, "Damn, I'd love to meet you," and they start dating. Anyway, recently she came out with a bunch of texts that he sent her. Can you turn the heater off? I'm gonna overheat. It's there. He sent her a bunch of texts that are basically going, "Hey, this is what you need to do to keep me. You can't." Let me pull up these texts. I want to read them because they're really good. It's really good stuff. Just a little editor's note for Keelan. Don't bother cutting this out. They can deal with it. But just like a little note to myself for the future, maybe have these handy before you start talking about them. All right. So this is the text that he sent that she's put out, and she said this is abusive. Plain and simple. Good start. If you need, and then there's 7 dot points, which is a lot of dot points. I would say, like, right off the bat, communicating in dot points and demands is probably not the healthiest way to communicate. Plain and simple, if you need surfing with men, she's an athlete, she's a professional surfer, boundaryless, inappropriate friendships with men, okay, fair. If they are actually inappropriate. To model, okay, that's her job. Have you not seen these?
I didn't read them.
To post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit. She's a surfer. To post sexual pictures. Subjective. But okay, we might give him that. Maybe.
She's a model.
But she's a model. Friendships with women who are in unstable places and from your wild recent past beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something respectful. I'm going to kill myself. All right, well, I understand that, but we can only have lunch. Because my boyfriend said that we can only have lunch. So if you're in crisis and you're feeling so unstable you want to die, do you want to get coffee or something? Because I know it's 3 a.m., but I'm not allowed to come over and help you. Then I'm not the right partner for you. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it, and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for romantic partnership. My boundaries with you based on the ways these actions have hurt our trust. And so a lot of people, mostly women, are going, this is abusive. But a lot of other people, mostly men, are going, this isn't abusive. He's clearly communicating his boundaries. And if you don't like it, you can leave. And he said that. You'll leave and I won't stop you. I think that both of those camps actually are wrong. And it's option 3. He's a fucking idiot. He started a relationship with a surfer knowing and even being attracted to her surfing pictures and her bikini shed and her modeling, and then got into a relationship with her and was like, actually, stop doing your career for me, because that's a boundary that I have. He's a fucking idiot. I wouldn't call it necessarily abusive. It's definitely toxic, because abusive is like, you're not allowed to do these things and I won't let you leave. That's prison. But I don't know. It's like debatable. If all he did was send this one text, then I would classify it as definitely toxic and fucking stupid by him, but not necessarily abusive. But also it's like all these people are going, what? She could have left at any point. It's like, yeah, that's like every woman stuck in an abusive relationship is, they could leave at any point. And it's like, well, that's not really how abusive relationships work. It's like, if you were getting hit, just leave. It's like, we know now from the history of abusive relationships in mankind, it's not that simple and it's not how it works. So it's like, you can't just be like, you're allowed to hit a woman as long as she doesn't run away. Or you're allowed to be a cunt as long as she doesn't leave. It's like, that's not what abuse is. You can definitely be abusive by going, you're not allowed to do your career, you're not allowed to do this, and by being very controlling and then going, I'll fucking tank the whole relationship if you do that. It's like, that is like controlling at best and toxic at best, abusive at worst. We just don't know the full context of it. I will say, from her, it's very suspect the timing that she's posted this, because she posted this like the day after he like went public with a child that he had with a new girlfriend.
Yeah, all these new articles are coming out against him.
Yeah.
Did you see what else came out?
No.
Oh.
What else is coming out?
Just that he was inappropriate with a 16-year-old at a party.
Yeah, the pile-on begins. And look, I haven't read any of this. It might be true, it might not be. I don't know. I'm not commenting on that. But it never looks good when a lot of people start going, yeah, me too. But here's another thing as well to consider. Hey, I love that you're a surfer. You're so hot. We should be my girlfriend. Hey, stop being a surfer. I don't like it. Also, I'm 39. Come on, dude. You're almost 30. You're almost 40, and you're upset that your 25-year-old hot surfer girl is a hot surfer girl. It's like nuts. And you know what? You know what else is interesting? I've experienced this before as a hot surfer girl, in a much like less intense way. I remember when I was 18, before I met my girl, I was dating another girl, and she was attracted to me because of my like job. Like, she thought it was so cool that I was an entertainer, and she thought it was so hot and whatever. And we started having casual sex, but then we started dating, and it completely changed. And she would always make little comments and like, I don't want you to, like, she just wasn't supportive, and she was really weird. And I was like, what's going on? She's like, I really like that you were doing this, but it's not something that I would want my boyfriend doing. And she was really like, if you want to be a comedian or do this, then you can't be my boyfriend. And I was like, all right, see ya. But yeah, like I've been on a less intense version of her side of events, and yeah, people do that a lot, and it's their mistake. It's really stupid to be attracted to a person. Like, basically, they find something sexually attractive, but they don't find it romantically attractive. So they try to be like, stop doing the thing that brought us together, basically. But I am seeing, like, today she's posting story upon story upon story of all these other texts, and he sent her a message of like saying, hey, it's really triggering to me that you've kind of breached my trust and privacy and all this kind of stuff, and she's just posted all of that. So it's like, I don't know. I see this stuff and I go, it looks a little bit two-way to me. It looks like I think on the surface, from what I've seen, I could still be wrong, it doesn't seem anywhere near as bad as she's saying that it is. And now it seems like it was going back and forth a bit. It seems like it was a fucking unhealthy, stupid shit relationship, and now I'm talking about it on a podcast. It's stupid.
I think it was also a lockdown relationship.
Right.
They got together during lockdown, which isn't.
Yeah, see, if I was stuck in lockdown and my girlfriend was out there surfing, I'd be like, stay in your house.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing. That was me with every comedian from Perth. I was stuck in lockdown in Melbourne for 100 days, and I was watching Rory Lowe doing comedy sets going, ha Melbourne. If that was my boyfriend, I'd go, get in the house, sit on the couch. I'm jealous. But yeah, I don't know. It's like that's so classic of like and a bunch of women I'm seeing like on Twitter and stuff are saying like this happens fucking all the time to women with like interesting and exciting jobs that aren't even necessarily sexy. Like being like a surfer and having your body out, or an athlete, that's pretty hot. But like I saw this interesting thread from like a flight attendant going like, I have so many of these stories personally, and so many of my flight attendant colleagues have these like experiences of like a man meets a flight attendant and finds them really exciting. Like, oh, it's so cool how you fly everywhere and you live an exciting lifestyle, and you're spontaneous because you don't even know where you're going to be next week, and you're going here and you're going there. And then they get into a relationship with that person and they go, I don't want you going to Miami. I don't want you flying here, or I don't want you with these male flight attendants who are absolutely gay, by the way. But it's just like I just see that and I'm like, oh, that's just pussy boy shit. It's like you were attracted to this exciting person, And also a boundary is like, I was talking about this with my girl and I was like, what do you think about this? And she goes, a boundary isn't like something that you can't tolerate. When I have a boundary with you, for example, my boundary with you, when I have boundaries, it's things that you do to me. Like my boundary is like, you can't hit me, you know, you can't steal from me. But if I go, you can't wear the color blue. That's just a boundary that I have. It's like, you're not doing that to me. It's like, so I can't really be like, hey, that's fucking disrespectful to me. It's for you to be wearing fucking jeans. Hate that, you know, because you're not doing that at me. If you were, if you're in a relationship with someone and they dress up really sexy and then they go into like environments where, you know, generally single people go and that's like encouraged and that flirting and shit like happens, that's like a disrespectful thing to do to me. But if you're just hot and you're a surfer and you wear an outfit that happens to be sexy, but it's also just what you wear, like she's a fucking surfer, I can't be like, hey man, it's just a boundary of me. Like I can't accept when you do your job. Cause that's such a thing of like a boundary with friends that I have is like, I wouldn't be friends with someone who hit me in the face. Like a boundary is not, I wouldn't be friends with a surfer. Yeah. You know, a boundary isn't something that you invent like after you meet someone. It's generally something that you have regardless of the people in your life.
Yeah.
It's like, I wouldn't like it when someone steals money out of my pocket, but then I start fucking dating an engineer and I'm like, a boundary of mine is people who build bridges. It's like, that's not necessarily what a boundary is. So it's not really something that you can interpret as disrespect, especially if they were doing it before they ever met you. And it was what attracted to you initially. Like, and you can it could maybe be a violation of your relationship if it's something, a new, like out of left field behavior or dream that they had that you didn't see coming, that's not that you find out together is not compatible. Like if you start dating a girl and out of nowhere she starts an OnlyFans, it's like that could be a problem. But if you dated a girl who was an OnlyFans star and you knew that, and then it becomes a problem, that's your fault. So yeah, I just think he's like I think it's just like pussy boy weak behavior of like, oh, that's so hot. Oh, I don't like it when you do it anymore. It's like, you're a little baby. That's not a new behavior she's exhibiting. You're just fucking insecure and intimidated, and you're trying to be like, oh, this is a boundary that I have. It's like not having a surfer girlfriend isn't a boundary. It's like, otherwise you would never date a fucking surfer.
Yeah.